What was your first challenge that you all encountered as a couple?
Ooh.
The very first
Yeah,
challenge.
we went into it with the challenge when you lost your
Okay,
job.
so lost the job.
Mhm.
People came to the wedding, and they betted that we would not be together for more than 6 months.
Mhm.
They said, well, this is going to be over.
That you wouldn't be married for more than 6 months?
We would not be married for more than 6
Wow.
months.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we didn't find that out until later, though.
We found that out until later. You're right. We did not find that out.
So that wasn't really a challenge. I didn't care what nobody said.
But the greatest challenge that we probably faced was finance.
Yeah, definitely. Going through eviction.
That was the hard part.
Yeah, that financial challenge is, yeah.
And we weren't.
So that was, she was pregnant 2006, 7? 2007.
So in 3 years, you all met each other, dated, got married, and had your first child. That's a lot to happen in 3 years.
And moved to Vegas.
And moved to Vegas.
Yeah, we moved to a different state.
From where?
From Los Angeles.
From Angeles.
Okay.
Yep. So, yeah.
So that's a lot of change.
It is. It's a whole lot of change. And everything just happened extremely fast. And then in 2000, like when we moved to Vegas, we moved 2005, like shortly after we got married. A lot of our family moved out. Well, my family, my side of the family, they moved out there. I didn't really want to go to Vegas. She got a job in Vegas, and we're like, okay, perfect. Let's do this. And then I started working in radio. First year was amazing. Then something happened that second year. Things got a little rocky. She was pregnant with our son, and she went into labor as we were getting evicted, like as we were like moving everything out. And that time was like super duper challenging. I couldn't get a job for nothing. It was crazy.
However, I will say this, that so he couldn't get a job. Things looked like every month we were getting an eviction notice on our door saying pay her quick, pay her quick, pay her quick. The month that last notice that we had, so it was during the winter time. Our son was born. It snowed that year. I'm pregnant. We have 2 children already. I'm pregnant with our third. And things look so bad. Like they look really, really bad. So I didn't want him to feel bad, and I didn't want him to feel, any kind of way. I didn't want him to carry the pressure and the stress. I mean, it was already enough just knowing that we were going through this.
You didn't want to add to it.
But I didn't want to add to it. And I remember we didn't have money to buy certain things that we needed for the children. You know what I mean? Like onesies, things that were warm. We didn't have money for it. And so I'll never forget, I went into Target and I was in the bathroom and I was crying. I was crying so hard, like that, like crying like a
Releasing
baby.
it,
And so there was a lady that stood outside of the bathroom door, and she says, "I was waiting for you to come out." And she said, "In 3 months, whatever your life will not look like this in 3 months." And and I'm like, how can you say that? But I'm like, okay, you know what I mean. In 3 months, my life, I'm pregnant. Everything looks chaotic. But I remember going through Target that day after she told me in 3 months my life wouldn't look like that. I remember going through Target, and I remember telling God, praying and saying, God, we don't have any money to buy this stuff for our children. And I began to lay my hands on just different things for the children, throughout Target. Just very specific. God bless my, God, this. And that around within probably like a 30-day period, they were sending thousands of dollars to us in the mail. Was it in the mail?
Yeah,
no.
It was like FedEx. It was like
we were getting packages
in the package. Yeah,
packages
like the UPS or FedEx
of the things
like
that I laid my
priority
hands
mail.
on.
Wait, no, you said the money though, babe.
But the money, okay, that too.
You said the money
So-
was coming in priority, but somebody started sending the baby clothes, like boxes that did not even know they were.
And you
in
didn't know who it was. They didn't.
No, we know who the person.
We knew who
it
was,
but we never told them anything.
never.
Nobody knew.
We didn't even. No one knew that I prayed for
Those
very
specific items.
Yep.
like
Opened
no
up
one
the box.
knew.
She was like, like
God knew.
Yep. For sure.
God knew.
God knew.
And at that, and I began to learn, I began to learn, wow, God really, cares about us. He cares about us.
Mm-hmm.
He cares about our marriage. He cares about us. But I remember that time people were sending, like, and he could not get a job.
It was crazy.
I could not work,
for
and he
everything.
could not
Working
get a job.
I ended up working at a paint store.
And God is like, I don't need that from you. He moved on someone's heart to send us money.
Yeah.
Like to see us through until the next thing came for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was one of the hardest times. And we had to, even during that time, we ended up moving with my mom, and then we moved from my mom's house. We stayed in the extended stay, and when we moved to that extended stay, that was one of the best times. And it seems like during that time, that's when doors just started opening. I'm like, what?
One of the best times of our lives.
But
in an extended stay.
In a hotel, yeah.
In a hotel. And
we were able to pay that, and we were happy. We're like, shoot, we got a maid. Somebody could come in. And
we had a maid.
Yep.
Yes.
We had continental breakfast. I was like, yes.
Coffee.
Newborn babies.
And you didn't have to clean. You had somebody cleaning it up for you. You had a baby. You could focus on being a mom.
Yes, it was amazing.
Breakfast was cooked for you.
Yes, exactly.
It was amazing.
Honestly, even now, when I think about it, that was to push us back into coming back to LA. And because I knew being in Vegas, it was temporary. It was for us to lay our foundation as a married couple. We had to be there for a reason. So I'm like, all right, cool. So when our time was up, I'm like, okay, I feel like it's time to shift and move back to California. And we did, and we moved back to California. And I mean, it's been great. Of course, there's been challenging times, but proximity, where you're supposed to be is very important, especially if you're called to do something or be in a certain industry. You need to listen. And that's when you'll see doors opening for your life. You know what I mean?